Hello everyone, welcome to an August financial reset. So we today are going to be talking about what we have planned for August financially in our budget, and then also I'm going to close out July in this budget as well. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer one because we'll do both, but I just figure this way we'll give an overall view of what it looks like for me at the end/beginning of the month. End of a month, beginning of a new month, I should say, and then how we plan for August or like the next month. So just kind of an overview here. I figured it would be a nice little change up and also something that will give me some pretty long content here. Okay, here on the screen, you're seeing my July 2025 budget. This is how I tracked everything for the month. So for the expected income, I believe I was about 200 off. Initially in my July budget with me, I had put that we were expecting like 11,000 plus. I had 10,880, but I knew that it was going to be a little bit more than that. So I just couldn't put like an actual number on it because my husband works overtime. So that is really hard for us to determine how much overtime he's going to get. So actual income for July ended up being $11,239.50. Budgeted living expenses that we like to stay within is $7,400. And so we went ahead and did our whole budget here. I budgeted out $7,247.49. This ended up changing a little bit what I had my budget categories. So if you go back and look at my July budget with me, some of these were less or more depending. But what I did was I noticed my husband was eating out on lunches a lot. So I took some money away from like his gas stations and gave it to him in his lunches. It's all the same at the end of the day, but like sometimes throughout the middle of the month, I realize like, hey, this is actually just going to look really scary and we're not spending other places. So I do kind of move money, if that makes sense, within our budgeted categories just to align more realistically with like, hey, this is more so where we should be so I can plan going forward. I don't know if that makes sense, but just know that like throughout the month, I do kind of adjust how much we're planning to budget for something, but I do stay within our budgeted living expense amount. The amount spent was $7,169.91, and we have a couple categories that we went over. So we went over in our bills category 55 cents. I think this was just kind of a discrepancy because of our electric, no, was it? Yeah, our electric or like our power bill went up. And I wasn't expecting that. So that went up in July. It is going to stay up now moving forward. They're just giving us a new amount that they'll charge us every month. We stayed under in groceries. We were under $67.59 in our grocery category. We were over $33 in household fund, under in my son's fund. So that is a little hard. The household fund and my son's fund, we did buy pull-ups, and the pull-ups, as you can see over on our Amazon card transactions, were $45.95. So I could have just pulled it from here if I wanted to. I just figured it was a wash either way. But gas, we only spent $8.98 on gas, and that was for a full tank of gas in my car, and my car was low and needed gas. So a full tank in there, plus we had to take gas cans to fill it up. So I've talked about it before, but we use a fuel saver. So we do all of our shopping for our groceries through Hy-Vee, and we get fuel saver points for like different savings on certain things from the grocery store. So because I have an electric vehicle, I don't use a lot of gas at all. So I can use the entire month to just kind of save up those fuel saver points. And then once a month we go and get gas. This one just so happened there was some pretty good fuel saver deals happening at our grocery store. So when it came to it, I'm pretty sure we had like $3 off, or even more, probably $3 off of a gallon. I I thought I saved a screenshot of it, but I guess I didn't. So my husband took a picture of him at the gas pump and showing that he only spent $8.98. So what I do want to say though is you can only use it on 20 gallons and it takes less than 20 gallons to fill up my car. So my husband takes gas cans with him as well so that we can fill up our lawnmower or just have extra gas in our, just on storage for us if we want it. Not a lot, but just a little bit, and that's helpful. So that was pretty cool, $8.98 on gas. We spent $26.67 on fun. Included in this, my husband goes to the movie theater and he buys just the popcorn and then he like leaves and comes home with just popcorn. Does anyone else do that? Because I always think he's so weird for doing it, but I mean, he likes movie theater popcorn and so that's what he likes to go do. But I personally am not a fan of movie theater popcorn. I know people are going to be like, what? But mainly because it's just very buttery. So, but my husband likes to go and buy movie theater popcorn and my son loves it as well. So he did that. And then I can't remember what else we got in our fun category. We got Dairy Queen one day too. So we got ice cream, which I've mentioned before. We usually use it for ice cream or whatever. Okay. For our dog Ro, I think she's in the background somewhere. I don't know where she is. Oh, yeah, you can see her right there. Okay, so for her, we budgeted $40, but because we have Menards rebates from my husband's work, I've mentioned before, we just use the Menards rebates to buy her food. My husband, her food is usually like $98. We get the big like 50-pound bag of it. And then he also got her some treats as well. And I'm pretty sure he still had like $30 or $40 left over on the on his the rebate that he had. So we even have extra money left over. Once again, that is just a perk that comes from my husband's employer where he works because he works for family. So one perk for him is that he gets to use the Menards rebates that the company, they make lots of purchases at Menards and he gets the benefit of keeping the rebates. He's the one that fills them out and whatnot, so he gets to keep it. I don't know. Another benefit that we get from his employer, once again, family business, is they pay for our phone bill. So we actually don't have a phone bill. Both me and my husband are just on the company phone bill, and that is because I help with social media for them. So I'll do social media posts and stuff. So I use my phone in order to do that. And that's just kind of how we justify that, I guess. But so that's just kind of how that happens. And then my husband's phone he's always just been under his company. So subscription wise, we were over here because we put $70 aside for subscriptions. It ended up being $118.08, and that is because I have a $48 YMCA subscription now, or like a membership. So we have a local pool in town that just opened up, and it is super nice. And if you are a member of our local YMCA, then you get to go to the pool. That's included, as well as like signing my son up for T-ball and signing him up for like other tumbling classes and stuff like that. It's cheaper if you have the membership. And then I've also got him signed up for swim lessons. So just through those things, it's like $20 cheaper if you're a member compared to not being a member. So for the fact that I've had him signed up for a few different things, that has already proven to like pay itself back pretty much, as well as all of the times that we've gone to the pool, it has also helped to pay back. So the nice thing about them is that they do have indoor pools around here as well too. So in the winter, if we want to go and do like free swim at their pools, that is still an option that we can. So I think I'll continue paying this $48 a month in the winter, but we'll just kind of see. And if at any point we're not using it, we will cancel it. So that means that I do need to increase my subscription amount for August because I need to make sure to cover that new $48 charge. My husband spent $90.28 at gas stations. which was just a little under his $100 budgeted amount. And then he overspent $16.04 on his lunches eating out. I'm not going to scrutinize him on that. The one thing we do need to do better on is we went $42 over on eating out. This month was just kind of a rough one. My husband was working really late nights. I was alone with my son most nights. Not nights, but like through the evenings and whatnot. And then my son was sick for a while, and I was just like exhausted and over it. And so at any point that my husband was like, let's just get something out to eat, I was on board. So we could do better about it. But again, that is life. And hopefully we can just make it better in August. But again, miscellaneous spending and holiday, we took that $50 out for both of those at the beginning of the month, so that was all cash spending for us. So that brings us to being under, I should say, our budgeted amount by $77.58, but we also still had $152.51 left to budget that we just didn't budget for. So all things considered, we went ahead and saved $3,069.59. I paid $1,000 towards my student loans this month. And so, yeah, that is where we are. I will say it is hard having, budgeting can be a little bit difficult when you have two people involved with it, because my goal is to pay off debt, which obviously it's my husband's goal too, because we are both married and we are combined. But like, my husband views things as he's wanting to save. He's in that step of saving because although we've got the car payment, he kind of views it as like he doesn't really have any other debts. He is very much on board and focused with paying off my student loans and then moving into the car. But he also has the mentality of like, he himself doesn't really feel that he has like as many debts, or like he views my debts as his, but like not really, if that makes sense. I'm saying all this because we do have the $3,069. Actually, the $3,069 is after the $1,000 student loan payment. So that savings just went into our savings account, and it didn't go towards our debt payments right now. So we're figuring that out, and it's still there that we can do like one big dump of it into the student loans if we want to. But at this point, we're still waiting on the house to close. So that's a story here. I'll get to that in a moment, but we're still waiting on our house to close. So we're just kind of in a moment where we're like hoarding money, or not hoarding it, I shouldn't say, but like we're just in a savings mindset right now because there's still an unknown, and so we don't want to just throw everything that we're making at the student loans until that house closes, because that will bring us more security knowing that that house is going to be closed and gone. I also track my Amazon card transactions. This just helps me to be aware of what we put on the Amazon card so that I know what we need to pay off. This amount also comes out of our household fund, so what you're seeing here, like this $133.14, is also coming from here, as well as there was probably another charge that I just didn't put on the Amazon card, why it's $133.14, but that is why. And then I just take that money and transfer it to pay off the Amazon card. That is where we ended July at. I would say saving $3,000 after paying a $1,000 payment on our student loans, or my student loans, was pretty awesome. And the summer months are always higher earners for us than the winter months are, so that's why we're able to do that. Moving on to August, I have right now an expected income of $9,287. We probably will bring in more than that, but I'm just kind of banking on the lesser amount, if that makes sense. So I'm not really sure, again, because my husband gets overtime, I'm not sure what this will actually turn out to be. I do want to say too, July was a 5 paycheck month for my husband, so August is a 4 paycheck month. So that's why July was significantly higher. But living expenses, budgeted living expenses, we're doing $7,400 again. Expected savings should be around $1,636.93. This expected savings amount is our expected income amount subtracting our budgeted amount. So right off the bat, as you can see, our budgeted amount is more than what our budgeted living expense expected is. And so that is because we have some bigger charges coming up this month. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to put more money towards this too, because we have two things that we are going to. One, I'm going to like a family birthday party. That is going to be 6 hours away. So I'm going to have to drive there and back, and that will take gas. Then we have a wedding to go to, and that's 3 hours away. So we have two things coming up this month that we need to budget for that I wasn't even expecting. And we're already like $250 over budget. Okay, this will be interesting. The thing is that we don't track sinking funds. So I budget for us for the month. I don't budget by paycheck. I budget by month. That is because it's the easiest thing for me to do to try to like limit how much I'm having to do or like keep track of. It just makes it so much easier on my brain, and that way it just makes the process easier. When the process is easier, that means I have more of a success rate because I'm not like stressed or like having to do this a bunch of times. So I enjoy that. But one other thing that we don't do, because I simplify everything, is I don't do sinking funds. Comment below if you got to this point in the video. Comment below and tell me if you do sinking funds or not, and what are your sinking fund categories that you keep. For us, obviously, we just throw everything into savings, and then we use that savings whenever we need to, like for Christmas or anything like that. So we don't have like a specific like what it's set to be spent on. So I don't have like a wedding fund, sinking fund, or like a travel sinking fund. It's just going to come out of our savings to do that. So that is one thing that I wanted to mention. But expected this month is a couple bigger expenses. One, we need more sheets. So we bought another king size sheet set, and I planned for $75 for that. I did already purchase it on my Amazon card. It was $63. And then we have our Amazon Prime yearly subscription that is coming out. That'll be $135. I wanted to cancel this and just kind of see how we could do without an Amazon Prime account, but my husband convinced me to keep it. So we're keeping it, and it will charge us $135 this month. And then the plan was to do a $150 or to do a Sam's Club run. So I budgeted out $150 for a Sam's Club run. This will help us hopefully eliminate other costs this week or this month. So my husband wants to look for like beef sticks and certain things that he can have for food for lunches. So hopefully that Sam's Club run will lessen how much he's spending on lunches and at gas stations, but we'll just kind of see what goes on with that. So for now, we have $150 budgeted for that. And then I also, I put that into our household fund here, and that way I've also got $90 set aside for our general household fund. So we'll just kind of see what happens with that. I know I kind of jumped down here to household fund because of talking about what we're expecting this month, but for the bills category, it is still at $5,710. That is because in the month of August, we still have to make the other house payment. So I knew this was gonna happen, and I'm so like, in July, I was like, oh, we'll probably be closed and that'll be finished. And so it's like, I'm frustrated that we're not, but it's still on track too. The problem was that we things were kind of taking a while through like just the process of getting everything ready to be sold. And then in that time, when we finally got the clear to close, our buyers went on vacation. So they ended up on a cruise where they didn't have access to a notary, and that left us just kind of like, oh well, we have to wait. So we're supposed to close next week. Hopefully we do, but because we're supposed to close next week, we had to make our other house payment again, and so that is included in there. And then our power and gas bill went up to $187, and it used to be $147. They slowly increased it. So in July, they charged us $179, and in August, it's expected to charge us $187. So that is why that is in there. And then also why it's higher this month is because every 3 months, our city sewer and trash comes out. So we are going to be charged $145 for our city sewer and trash. So couple high ones there. I do want to say though, for daycare, we have budgeted $1,750. The actual daycare bill ended up being, it already came out, or it's going to come out. Oh yeah, it hasn't come out yet, but it's supposed to be 1,573, I think. So so we do have it budgeted for like $175 higher than what they've already told us it's going to be. Like, we already got the invoice for it. So at least we're working with a little bit of extra money there to where we won't spend as much out of our budgeted bills amount. But such is life. We knew that it could potentially happen where we didn't close in time before August. So that is what it is. Groceries, we have $750 budgeted. I've already spent $208 of that, but I will still be fine to stay in the $750. My husband's parents bought a boat, and thankfully they bought us like our son's life jacket, and the boat came with life jackets and stuff, so we didn't have any costs there. But because of that, we are going out on the boats on the weekend now, on the boat on the weekends now with our friends, because my husband's parents were like, use it as your own if you want. So we've been taking friends with us, and because of that, we are making lunches and stuff. Everyone's kind of like bringing collective food. So our groceries were a little bit higher just because I do have to account for some boat food in that. So not too bad, but we'll still be able to stay within the $750. This is just kind of a one-time thing. I had to get a few things in order to make it easier to use in the future. I don't know. So that is that fund. Obviously, we talked about household fund and why that is so high this month. For my son, I budgeted $40 for him because I budgeted $100. Yeah, I budgeted $100 last month in July, and we only spent $54. And even that, it was like we bought him a pretty expensive toy. So I was like, yo, he doesn't need $100 every month. We'll probably just kind of give him $100 every like 3 months or something. But gas-wise, we've got $50. Again, I need to increase this to, I don't know, man. I'm probably going to have to increase this to like $200. Yeah, I'm going to up this to $200. That sucks. Fun is going to stay at $40. Pets will stay at $40. She's good. I mean, she's got plenty of food. She won't need it. And then subscriptions, I've increased that to $120. My husband's gas stations are at $120. His lunches are at $150. Eating out is $100. We need to be careful with this. I bet this is, oh gosh. I can already see it now. I bet we're going to end up spending like $800 this month. Just because of having the wedding, having us going out of town for that birthday party. We have to buy gifts for both of those. And then eating out because we're going to be on the road. Well, 2 weekends out of the month, it's like we're going to be eating out on the weekends. Like, we can take food with us when we're going there, but like while we're there or on the way back, we'll probably get food. I don't know. We'll see. So we might spend some extra money there. We've got cash spending that we could use for food. That's $40. And then miscellaneous spending is $40. I will probably use the miscellaneous spending, the $40 for the birthday gift. And then I'll probably do like $50 in cash for, I need to make another category. See, this is real life of what I do, where I realize that I need to increase this. Let's increase this to 100. We're just gonna assume we're gonna have to spend 8,000 this month, okay? Let's increase our cash spending to, let's do 40. Let's do $80 there. That will be for us eating out while we are like out of town doing this. And then let's see. Okay, eating out will be fine. Fun. So we've got gifts in there, food for there, gas for there. And then we have to figure out our, like, where we're staying situation. So it's going to be higher. So this month, I'm just going to say, nope, I'm going to leave this at 7,400 because that is our goal ultimately. But we are going to be $500 over. Again, we saved $3,000 in July and we're saving $1,386. This is with the 7,000, so it subtracts again, still our expected by our budgeted. So even if we spent, let's just say I moved this miscellaneous spending up to 200, even if we spent 8,000, we're still saving $1,286 this month, which 1,000 of that will probably go towards my student loans, as well as however much we can put towards the student loans with the sale of the house. So I'll just leave it there where we're at the 8,000. And yeah, we'll just kind of see how that goes. This is going to be an expensive month, and I was not, I didn't even think about that before I started filming. So that's kind of, I guess, a good thing that I got to show you guys what it looks like, where we're like, oh, this is an expensive month. So yeah, that's where we're at so far. I think it's still going to be fine. We'll still be able to put plenty of money towards the student loans and that. And the starting balance of the student loans is less than 46,500. I think it's like 46,300 or something. But I just, I didn't have the exact amount when I started this. So that's why I just had it as that. But so far, now we're over $600 of like our actual, like, usually monthly what we budget for. But such is life, and right now, August is going to be an expensive one. We'll see. I don't really think, I mean, we'll see where we don't end up spending money. So maybe we won't spend the full 8,000, but we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. I will do a halfway through the month check-in, but halfway through the month is not even when we're going. So we're going to be gone either, yeah, at the 15th, it still won't be the halfway mark of when we're going to be gone. So those expenses won't even incur until I show you guys what it looks like at the very end of the month. But I'll kind of keep you updated, maybe through shorts or something like that, of how we're spending. Oh, and I'll do like what I spent in a week's, this entire week or this entire month. So every week you will get to see what I spend. So that will work. But yeah, that is where we're at for August so far. We'll be on track to save 1,286. We're on track. We already saved 3,000, like I said, 3,069 for July. So we're already at 4,200 in savings for those 2 months. So I would say that's pretty good, even considering the fact that we are going $600 over budget already in August. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in my next video.